There are thousands of New Brunswickers who are now working in the West who are doing the very same thing that we could be doing here. We've taken 2 years to build very strong regulations, the strongest regulations bar none in North America. And we have the confidence in the people of New Brunswick that we will develop this and create a tremendous opportunity.
It's pretty obvious that Mr. Albert is for fracking, but Mr. Gallant, your position seems a little murky in that you're proposing a moratorium, which is by nature temporary. I wonder, is a Liberal vote a firm and resounding no, and a firm promise not to frack for 4 years? Yes or no?
Well, if you allow me, Steve, we made our position very clear. It's a moratorium on hydraulic fracturing until we fully understand the risks. I understand why people would want to have a date given. I understand that. I completely recognize that it's because people no longer trust politicians, and that's unfortunate. And I'm going to try, if I'm given the chance to be premier, to give people reason to believe in us and to trust us again. We are having a moratorium. We have a position of a moratorium based on information. We think that there's lack of information when it comes to the risk to our water, our health, and environment. And if I may, Steve, I also want to take a chance to thank you for organizing tonight.
You're most welcome.
And I also want to just take on what you said at the beginning. I mean, David Allward has led the only government in 40 years that did not create jobs during his mandate. Under the David Allward leadership, there has been no plan to create jobs. We have seen reckless cuts. And because of this, we actually have 6,000 New Brunswickers that have stopped looking for work in our province.
Yeah, but job again, on the subject of job creation, Frank McKenna, who is certainly someone you're familiar with in your party, has described fracking as an issue of survivability for New Brunswick, and says that fracking would create $7 billion in taxes and revenue and virtually settle the debt and deficit problems of the province of New Brunswick. Well, is that not a good plan?
If we look at the report that was issued by the Alberta Conservatives themselves, it says very clearly there's a 10% chance that there's a commercially viable industry. They've said themselves in this report that it would take until 2019 to get 50 wells, if I may. 43 wells have been drilled from corridor resources, like you said, and we're still in the situation that we're in as a province. And if I also may, the $200 million that the Premier keeps talking about is actually less than that. It would have to be divvied up between municipal and federal governments as well.
Quick word, Mr. Perry, please.
First, let's note that Mr. Gallant did not actually answer the question. And the NDP has two tasks around any natural resource plan. It has to be environmentally safe for human health, and also for the
I'd like to give Mr. Gallant another chance. Is there a chance under your leadership that New Brunswick could be fracking within the next 4 years? Is there a chance?
I've made my position very clear. It's a moratorium because there's a lack of information. There are reports that are coming. There's
but you could get information that would allow it during your
It is possible, Steve, but it's also possible to go the other way as well. Maybe information that let us know that it's not.
You're not proposing a law against fracking, which the Liberal government in Nova Scotia has done.
That's right. There's other jurisdictions that have had moratoriums, Quebec, Newfoundland. But if I may, Dominic, you've changed your position on fracking about 9 times. You've actually changed it twice during this campaign.
This is Rich coming from Mr. Gallant, who's changed his position about 5 times during the campaign. That's the reality. And, you know, Mr. Gallant at one point actually said, you know, he's one of the best read New Brunswickers when it comes to shale gas development and fracking. And then on this very show over the last few days, when questions are questioned around corridor resources, Mr. Gallant says, I don't know anything about it, yet he's still prepared to kill industry, kill corridor resources and obstacles.
Shouldn't you have known that?
Well, I'm not really sure what you're getting at here. I know exactly what we're talking about. We're talking about a moratorium on hydraulic fracturing.
When I asked you earlier about the methods used in fracking, you said that you did not know what methods were used.
I'm not privy to what corridor reresources is using. Of course I'm not. Well, because I don't think corridor resources is calling me every day to let me know what they're doing with it. And if I may, obviously corridor resources coming with a letter with information which we appreciate. Talk about fracking. They don't mention hydro fracking, fracking. They don't mention which type of extraction. If you'll just a second, guys. I appreciate the size, but just a second. On top of that, they've made this letter public 6 days before an election. We're certainly not going to change our position because we receive a letter from a company that's obviously vested, and that's fair, and it's fair game to put information out there, but 6 days before an election.
You've changed your position several times
on hydraulic fracturing
during this campaign. You've changed your position
at
least 5 times.
Moratorium on hydraulic fracturing. It has been the case for 3 years.
I think the depressing thing is the Liberal Party has descended to attacking other parties rather than being able to defend its policies. meeting about this.
I'm not sure where we attacked here. We were talking about our position, I'm not sure where
You're
we're
making
coming from.
mistaken claims of that change. Look up, if you just Google fracking and shale gas, you won't see a single instance of me defending this industry.
If you got the video offline, that's good for you, but there was a video where you said that you were for this at the beginning.
Before I knew anything about the subject. 2009, before I was involved in provincial
All right.
politics.
On that note, as lively as this is, I think we'll take a brief break, have a glass of water. Back to the board.